Hello, everybody. Welcome. Happy Saturday. I am Adina, and you guys are now Beyond the Veil with Adina. I am, one second. Okay. I am your resident hostess with the mostest and your resident medium, oracle, psychic, woo lady, wise woman, goddess. But keep that on the hush. Anyways, I'm so happy that you found yourself here on my channel. If this is your first time here and you just found out what I do and you are not kind to people like me, I ask that you depart from thy presence peacefully so that you can respect my chat and you can respect me. Thank you, April. I actually don't. I'm going to change it so quickly. So quickly. I just got to get a little bit of my coin, a little bit more of my coin out of it. I don't like the color. I like the curl, not the color. Anyways, welcome. Happy Saturday to all of my OG Busted Babies, OG viewers, resident remote viewers, bush watchers, as I call you guys, peeking at me through the YouTube bushes. Welcome. Happy Saturday. Happy day of Saturn to all of you all. I hope this day has been well and kind to you. Hi, Natalie. Hi, Tiara. Hi, April. Hello, Mahog Affirmations. Thank you, Lindy Austin. Thank you, April. I used to wear this color in my youth, in my early 20s, and things like that. Anyways, enough of all of that. Welcome, everyone. How are you all? How's everyone doing? Hey, Erica. Y'all, the crown of success is done. It's supposed to last about 3 to 4 days, but that bitch burned out in 24 hours. And then I actually had to stop it from bursting the glass because it was about to shatter the glass. So I went ahead and just smothered it out because, yeah, I didn't have time for the glass to be flying all over the place. Thank you, Princess. But it's completed. So shout out to everybody that participated in the group Crown of Success and offering ceremony. It's complete. I have actually spent all day kind of lounging around the house, regaining my energy. And that's normal after group ceremonies. It usually takes me a couple of days to recover. But since the ceremony went so fast, shoot, I only needed a 24-hour bounce back. So shout out to everybody who participated and blessings to all of you who are here with us today. You guys, I was just here yesterday talking about how nothing was going to change in the new year and to make your resolutions very personal. That means do what you can do for your own good because the world was going to continue to crumble. And it wasn't 24 hours later, was it, guys? Was I not talking about certain people who are very prone to war and liking to go into other places for their resources under the guise of peace and safety and all types of other excuses. And god damn it, I couldn't even take a good nap. We couldn't even take a nap long enough before we were, and when I say we, I mean citizens of the United States because I live in the US. And please, international community, I ain't got nothing to do with this shit. I ain't got nothing to do with none of this shit. Let me tell you right now, if you're on my platform and you're a part of the international community, meaning outside of the US, then you already know I'm ahead of that shit. I exposed that shit. So y'all know I ain't a part of that shit. It's bad enough that I can't go to Nigeria right now. They're not accepting um, US nationals. So Now, I'm supposed to be going to Senegal in May, but it just may occur that I may not be able to do that. On top of that, I was supposed to go to Nigeria in October. So I would just like for the international community to know that I, Big Mama Busset, Adina, ain't got nothing to do with that shit. I don't want nothing to do with that shit. I love y'all. That mean all y'all. From the coldest regions of the ice walls in Antarctica to the hottest of deserts in the Sahara, to the snakiest infestations of the Amazon in Australia. I love y'all. But it seems like the United States does not. And I just want y'all to know that just because I was born somewhere where my mom and them decide to live, that don't mean I agree with the haberdashery. That don't mean I shit. So, anyways, it's a lot of crash out going on, and the most important one that I would like to address first and foremost is the United States dropping bombs and what they say capturing, I believe, the leaders of Venezuela. I don't know if I should call them presidents, prime ministers, or whatever they're called. In my mind, I see it as kidnapping, but tomato, tomato, suppose. As I proceed, everything that I say here is alleged and it's for entertainment purposes. I'm just here to entertain you guys. That's what they say I'm supposed to say. So enjoy the stories. Most High Mother and Father. First of all, is anyone in here in Venezuela or is Venezuelan? Uh, is surrounded by Venezuelans. When I look at reports, they say that the people of Venezuela, first of all, have taken to the streets, and I have not had time to look into what exactly they're um, protesting, but there were reports on some media outlets that said that the people were, thank you, Darby, that the people of Venezuela or Venezuelans were happy that the Venezuelan leaders were captured. I don't know, but I just want to look and see into the situation the way a medium and oracle does. You guys, I'm a medium and an oracle. So if this is your first time here and you are not into that type of thing, this is your opportunity to leave peacefully, please, to respect my community. Most High Mother and Father God, thank you for this Saturday, this day of Saturn. Thank you for this platform, YouTube, for being such a successful platform that allows me to do this with so many people. Except I don't thank you all for allowing whoever is the record label for Dru Hill to monetize my video the other day. My Kai Cenat video. Y'all, why Dru Hill getting the coin for that video? Just because I sang it. Did I sing it too well? I didn't know you couldn't sing songs here. Maybe I sang too much of it. They said you can't stop them from monetizing it. You can only take your video down. And I said, why would I do that? They can have the money. If they need it that bad, would they broke ass? I'm just kidding. But for real, they they monetized that video because I was singing in my bed for Kai Cenat and his girlfriend. They said, yep, we'll take that. We'll take that coin. Shout out to the people who getting their coin. They weren't living under the best circumstances in Venezuela. Okay, I understand. Do they think that the United States of America is going to come over there and help? That's a real question. Hello, Adorned. Do people still see Lady Liberty as the beacon of freedom? As a member of the Black delegation, I'd like to have a word in my private chambers. Just ask the Black people if anybody in the world wants to know about whether America is really what they say and proclaim to be per their PR. Just ask the ninjas. We'll tell the truth. We will tell the truth. We'll sit you down for a drink, some cognac. The young kids gonna sit you down for some tequila, but we'll tell you. Just ask why y'all ain't ever asked the Negroes. Nobody wants to ask the Negroes. Just kidding. Not Most High Mother, Mother and Father God, please allow me to. How should I approach this? Spirit, the United States has dropped bombs in Venezuela and have captured the Venezuelan leaders. Can you allow me to look into the energy and the spirit of this matter? The truths behind it. Why did the United States government, even though they said they did so because they were targeting drug trafficking, however, I believe that their oil tankers were hit, and I believe innocent people on those vessels. I don't know. I'm not there. But they also did admit to some interest in Venezuela's oil, amongst other things. Oil, drugs, they want to get rid of all of it in all the places in the world that it exists. Can you allow me to divine the matter of the United States invading, so to speak, Venezuela? Who? JD, the Venezuelans? This was about to fly out of my hand, but first and foremost, resources. As I've said, just 24 hours ago, maybe less than that, resources, first and foremost. This land seems to be rich with resources. But Spirit, what I sense though is what I've been sensing is fear, or a spirit of panic, maybe fear, panic, anxiousness. This is survival mode, what I sense underneath it all. Somebody is in survival mode. Somebody or somebodies are in survival mode. And it's not even something that can't be hidden anymore. That like they can't play around with us anymore. They're out to survive by any means necessary. I think that certain people or peoples are in worse circumstances than we know. And we may be looking at it like, why are certain things going the way they are? Why is the government, why is this politician behaving this way? But the one thing that we haven't looked at behind these actions, such aggressive actions internationally from the United States government, is that they're so aggressive, which lends to the US has always kind of leveraged their power and their whatever power they have accumulated. But in this way, everybody, it's very much outright. We're out to get it, and we're out to get it all by any means necessary. That, in my opinion, reeks of desperation. What is the energy, the spirit behind the US's decision to drop bombs on Venezuela, allegedly and for entertainment purposes? Here we go. Here we go with the emperor, the dictator, the emperor in the present position. Again, every time I get this card in this context, because this ain't the first time we've seen this emperor pop up in regards to these types of matters. And I said before, he could not be the emperor without the support of all the kings in the deck. King of Cups, King of Wands, King of Pentacles, King of Swords. The Emperor 4, the number 4, is the culmination. Then why is you here, Johnny? Oh, Johnny. Thank you, April. The culmination. So, everybody, I've heard some people say, why hasn't Congress? They're quiet on the matter because I believe they support their emperor as they have the ability to impeach. This emperor is doing what he's been chosen to do, allegedly. This is the Venezuelan, the leaders that were captured in the challenging position. Methinks that it wasn't just that easy to walk up in there and get them. Methinks that there might have been some unloyal people surrounding this couple that helped kind of leave a crack in the door open for this couple to be captured. So the challenge, for one, is the intel, the boots on the ground that I believe they had in Venezuela helping capture this couple. But also the challenge is the what now. Not saying that, yes, a mole, Natalie. Not saying they don't know what to do, but how everything is going to go now that they have, so to speak, captured Venezuela, because this is a capturing of Venezuela for the U.S. Clock your spidey senses, Natalie. Clock your spidey senses coming through. Told y'all were growing, and it's showing. The challenge will be integrating this new emperor. The challenge is the world watching this emperor kind of take its first nation, so to speak, by capturing this nation's leaders. In the old days, what would happen if a war broke out in a kingdom and a rival king captures the king and the queen? What happens to that kingdom? It becomes the kingdom of whoever captured it, right? That's what the fuck this is. The United States of Venezuela of America. You're welcome. The challenge is integrating this new world, this new takeover. And I believe it will not be the first. I mean, the last, not the last attempt. You see, Africa, they've been trying it, but Africa is a whole nother beast for them. Venezuela, though, that was a little easier to do. But there will be more. Didn't Trump rename the Gulf of Mexico? An emperor is emperoring, taking and enlarging kingdoms. And we're watching it. Past position, this is the master plan for world domination. put into effect already, being led by Lady Liberty. Everybody is beating to her drum. Listen, there are nations that will be kind of quiet because this is not something that nations didn't smell on the horizon. And the ones that rebelled against this new world order being put into effect, not coming, no, being put into effect in the past position. It already happened. The ones who rebelled are the ones who want to keep their sovereignty will be the ones who are targeted first. You have to conquer them first. Conquer the opposition first, because those who aren't strong enough to outright oppose, they're weak. So you don't have to worry about them first. And you want to get the ops before they have the ability to recruit allies by weak with of weaker nations. So every nation who wants to keep their sovereignty and doesn't want to be under the thumb of this new world order being led by Lady Liberty, you got a target on your back allegedly. And division amongst the people. The side who thinks that this is a crime against humanity, and there will be people who welcomes this, but this is per the course. That's what's expected to happen. After taking over a kingdom, now you have to deal with the unruly people, so to speak. Venezuela's resources is crowning this emperor. And I asked about the United States leading this charge. So this emperor has to be the United States being led by Trump, its president. The country's resources is what they wanted to grab, all of them, the country itself. So below, the people, these are the reasons that they said they were doing it. All of those are humanitarian causes. The targeting drug trafficking, we want to free the people of drug trafficking. We want to rescue the people of the persecution of Christians. They threw that in there too. So they did it under the guise of wanting to free the people. And I do believe that there are some moles. This has not been something that's happened overnight. So there have been moles in Venezuela kind of feeding dissension amongst their own people for a while. And I'm not saying they don't have reasons genuinely to be unhappy with the conditions in their own government. But truthfully, that's for Venezuela to deal with and their people. But there have been people in the midst that have been fueling dissension and kind of have been planting seeds of U.S. hope, so to speak, so that later on, when it actually happened, the people have already been conditioned to look forward to it. Conditioning people is very easy. If you guys think that you're waking up and power to the people, yes, that's good, but for most, it's too late to actually genuinely make an impact at this point. Deconditioning, as I said yesterday as a message from the divine, deconditioning is going to be even more of a challenge because now there are other out external forces that survival is involved now. So you don't have the luxury of taking the time to deprogram and really truly wake up and then make yourself accustomed to life outside of the system. Now everybody's going to be in survival and panic mode. So the luxuries that we had and the comforts, the luxury of comfort that we had to actually sit back sometimes and focus because life wasn't as oppressive, those days are over. Got him. We got him, Joe. We wanted the country and her resources. We're acquiring them. There is a threat to the system external, but I won't say who and what it is. There is a threat to this empire, but it's not a physical threat. It's not something that will physically do damage to this emperor and his empire, but it is a threat. And it is someone that has the ability to be a nuisance to this emperor. But it's not an external nuisance. So, anyways, hopes and fears. Negative reaction from the people of the world, or the international community rebelling against these actions. So there is power in the people rebelling, but only if the people unite. I don't see that happening enough, though. Not enough worldwide unity. But that would be the physical, external threat to this emperor and his empire. External, I mean, the outcome, he will continue to conquer or attempt to conquer. Venezuela isn't the last. So the question is, who's up next? I'll start with the outcome. Mine. And he's been giving the authority and the throne to take, the power to take. He's elected. He was elected for the job. And quietly, they support him. Your Congress, quietly, in my opinion, they support him. They put him there and he's there. They've kept him there. No charges, no weapons have formed against him has prospered for a reason. His job is to conquer and take. And the people that know him and that have known him even before politics know that he's perfect for conquering and taking. A shrewd businessman, the right connections, the right relationships, the right skills for the job. They want him there. And he will continue to look out into the beyond and see what else he's going to take. But he's not even just warmed up. He's been warmed up. No. Round 2 was to do exactly what he's doing. All right, let's look at your outcome. Who's next? Because I see you looking over at Venezuela, but you took her already. So now that means you're looking beyond her. The Hermit. Remember yesterday, you guys, when I asked for a message for humanity from the divine regarding this 2026, it was this in reverse. There are nations who, first of all, everybody knew this was coming, or the people who were meant to know. Leaders of the world knew that this was coming, suspected this was coming. And some of them are down with the program. They've already joined. They're already in alignment. He's going to be focusing on those who are not. Again, the long goal is Africa. They're the most resilient, but they're the most, that's the holy grail. That's the Garden of Eden for them. That's the land of milk and honey. And it's not even just because of what we know of Africa. There's something else about that land that is actually a little bit more esoteric, a little bit more spiritual than it is, or energetic for those who aren't spiritual than it is what we see, just tangible resources. There's something else there. In my mind, I feel it like a pulse under the ground, in the ground in Africa. There's a pulse, like a heartbeat. A pipeline is what my spirits say, like the vein and the heart, the main arteries in the heart of the universe is there. And in my opinion, in some places in Africa or in that continent, you can feel the ground pulsating or maybe even vibrating. If they can conquer Africa, they don't care about any other place, but nevertheless, that's a long-term goal for them. That's a hope, a dream, and a desire, but not one I see being fulfilled. However, they will continue to gather nations, the ones that agree, but they will go after the ones that don't. So whomever we see them targeting next, in my opinion, that is a nation of people who are not down with this, did not want to get down with the get down. Now let me look and see what that get down is. It was known that the US was going to lead a charge of conquering, as in the days of the founding fathers and their forefathers, the colonial days, the world conquering days, when they traveled and conquered the lands and then split them up amongst themselves. This is what Make America Great Again means. The founding father days. And I told you guys that here before. However, there were some people who did not agree. Those were foreign nations, nations that were not really allies already or feeble. So all of the US's allies are in agreement. The nations that were too weak to not be in agreement, they're going to get in where they fit in. But the nations who stood up proudly and said, "To the death I go." That's what this is. Not everybody agreed. The problem is, though, with this, they saw it as threats, but not enough of them took them seriously, or serious enough. Not saying they didn't take it seriously, but they thought this man was a joke. That's the problem. A lot of people thought this man was a joke. Methinks that was a part of the strategy of Trump. His first term, the whole media, the whole world was clowning him, and everybody could do so and get away with it. This time, though, I think that was a part of the strategy, though, so that people didn't really take him as serious as they should have, because they knew back then, but they didn't think it actually happened. They really thought everybody hated him. But you see, the same people who made the world feel like it was okay to clown Trump are the same people who are silent. Didn't impeach him then, hadn't impeached him now. Methinks that's a part of the strategy, to make him a little less harmful or a little less of a threat back then than he was, so that some people couldn't prepare and were caught unawares now, caught slipping. Because the US itself was kind of mocking their own leader. And so these other nations were looking like, this guy, look at him walking around here talking about he's going to take over the world. His own people don't even want him. Yeah. But there was a hope, a dream, and a plan the entire time. It was a con. Let's look at this emperor. Trump does not care about you guys' opinions, doesn't care about the backlash at this point about what they did, doesn't even care how bad it looks, doesn't care if it looks like we just ran up in somebody's nation, snatched their leaders, and took their kingdom. Why don't he care? Because he's the emperor. So they don't even care about the PR anymore. Yes, we running up in your shit and we taking it. The oil, yeah, we gonna take it, allegedly. We told you we was coming for it. We told you to get down or lay down. We told you, get down or lay down. Now I'm gonna just take it. And you said no. We told you guys, start paying tribute to the new king. Let me get a cut in of the dope. Let me get a cut in of the oil. Let me get a cut in of all that shit. Everybody get down or lay down. And they said, no. They said, give us a cut of all that shit. They said no. Whatever you selling, no. And that pissed the U.S. off. They said no. They said, oh, you said no. All right, bet. No. That's Venezuela saying no. Look. Get down or lay down. We coming. Give us a cut of the dope. Give us a cut of the oil. Give us a cut of this. Give us a... No. One night. One refusal. One refusal from the U.S. A new night now. So they went from saying get down or lay down to I bet. See how this situation went? We came telling you nicely the first time. Just give us a cut and we'll play nice. We'll let you keep your shit. We'll let you da-da-da-da-da. And when they said no, the U.S. said no. I bet. Now we coming in there. We asked nice. Now we coming in there with swords. That's a get down and lay down if I ain't never seen it. Behind this emperor. People of Venezuela, be careful of what you wish for. You guys have the power to make change in your own country without having to let the Great White Hope be your Great White Hope. Let me look into this Queen of Cups. I'm not going to say out loud too much about what I see in that queen because I have an idea of what that is and I don't necessarily want to say it. Okay, it's just as I expected. All right. If this Queen of Cups and the external energy that I'm clarifying, that's in reverse, if she were to flip upright, then they would target her. As long as she's in reverse, she's safe because of her being the Queen of Cups. But as long as she's in reverse, okay, well, that's what I got for the Venezuela situation. Good luck to the people of Venezuela. I'm actually curious to see what's coming next for you guys before I switch gears to something else. You guys heard about Will Smith? I really didn't care to read about this because Somebody asked me about Bryce Share Gray before in like a Let's Chat and his relationship with Will Smith, alleged relationship with Will Smith, amongst other powerful men in the industry. And I actually did look at Will and Jada. And so once I predict something, even if you did what, Tiara? What did you do? Um, Even if it's a year in advance, I usually, when it happens, I usually don't feel the need to relook into it because I already said it. But oh, you asked about Will Smith? Okay. Bilal says they're gonna go down. Who is that? Okay, I'll look into Will Smith. Let me see what's coming next for the people of Venezuela, the ones in Venezuela. Spirit, in the upcoming year, what does 2026 have in store for citizens of Venezuela? Will they get new leaders of their own? Obviously, if they do, they'll probably be no more than ambassadors of the U.S., but let's see. What's in store for the people of Venezuela? Is their current leaders being captured a good thing for them? Is this a positive thing for them, leading to a positive change for the people? Something about the idea of Venezuelans wanting to be free from their leader, it gives me plant. And even if some people that live there are saying it, it gives me, it was planted into your subconscious for you to feel that way by the media, by news, by various things. So I don't get that the majority, truly, despite what's being reported, I don't get that the majority of Venezuelans see the U.S. coming in as some form of freedom to them. I think that's a plant sentiment, a planted sentiment. I think that anybody that you guys get will not be loyal or genuine to the genuine needs of Venezuelans first and foremost. I think that things will never be the same in Venezuela and in other parts of the world, in all of the world. What we're seeing is what our ancestors saw. We're seeing it in present day. So Venezuela will never look the same again after this for a long time, maybe for generations. Meaning the cultural identity of Venezuela, now that the US has stepped in, it will slowly die until some generations die out. And the spirit is reborn in a new generation. But this isn't just in Venezuela. Venezuela is the prototype, so to speak. You know the story of when Moses couldn't take um, the Hebrews into the promised land because some of them were too indoctrinated with a slave mentality. He knew it was no use taking in, they were no use in a new land because they were damaged goods. So he waited until their generations died out and took their children, waited till their children got older and took them because they had a different spirit in them. They weren't marred by their time in Egypt and being indoctrinated and under that rulership. So it'll be generations before the spirit of the cultural spirit of Venezuela is reborn. somebody in you guys' government, I do see that they've been very much implicit in the drug trade, but I think that they saw it as a way of making money for their country. I don't think that they did it as a way of being corrupt, other than them knowing that these drug traffickers have support from international communities, so they can't necessarily get rid of them. They were doing business with them because it's the devil that they know. They can't get rid of these traffickers when they have the United States allegedly funding them or helping them. And the Venezuelan government probably knows that. So it's best to do business with the devil that you know, the devil in your own house, especially when you know that you can't get rid of them. This is how they would have boots on the ground in Venezuela anyways, to help a coup go down. Drugs. I think the problem is the U.S. came for control. Total control. So, good luck, Venezuela. All right, Will Smith. Let me take a little swig. Ooh. All right, let's take a look and see what's going on with Will Smith. We know that he has some very nasty allegations. Excuse me. Cardi B and Stephon Diggs. I'm more inclined to read Stephon Diggs because he's the one who was just charged with allegations. Cardi B was not. So we'll see. But I will read him next. All right. Most High, Mother and Father God, please allow me to conjure up the spirit, soul, and the collective energy of Willard Smith. Will Smith. I hear snickering from the ancestral realms. They think this is a key, in my opinion. Will Smith got another baby on the way. They just hitting these men up. Just hitting them up. In my mind, if Will Smith has another baby on the way, then he was asleep, passed out, drugged, and somebody took advantage of him. Because these men are a lick these days. Oh, Stephon, I was going to say, Will Smith, no. Now that could be true. I mean, he's young and fertile. So, hey, he's doing what a young, fertile, rich, some people would say attractive man would do. And that's so his royal oats. All right, Spirit, please allow me to conjure up the spirit, soul, and collective energy of Will Smith. Will Smith. Will Smith, you got some sticky stuff going on, dear. You know, he feels tired. This is too much for Will. It's like his spirit is tired. He's been through, I feel like he's been going through a lot. Not saying that all of it is not like he's a victim. I don't know that. I'm just saying he's been going through it. I think a lot in his personal life. I think what Will Smith has been going through has been more personal than we have seen. Meaning we know he's been going through it, but I think the way it's been affecting him the most, we haven't seen. But I think, oh, it's just started raining. That sounded so pretty. He gives me very much tired in his spirit. Not his soul, but in his spirit. Will Smith, talk to me about these allegations and accusations that you have currently against you. A young man said that you were inappropriate with him in a sexual way in the past when maybe he was young. I don't know if he said he was young, but I do believe that he said you were sexually inappropriate with him. Is that true? And what will come of these allegations against you? You know what? Let me just say this first. Whether it's true or not, whether I get into any of the salacious details, whether it's true or not, there is a thing where people who were even in a position to make these accusations are deciding to cash in. And I believe it's because it's easier to do so than it was before. If the climate of today's social environment was the same 10, 20 years ago, then yeah, these people would have said something a long time ago. But some of these things might have taken place in a time where these people were still a force, still too powerful to take down. But now all the wheels are going flat on the vehicle of power in the industries. And so who's ever catching a flat and they're vulnerable, your skeletons might start coming out of the closet because you're in a position to be weak. I'm just going to start there. Again, the challenge is because Will Smith has been powerful and protected. So I do believe, because of this, I do believe that both Will and Jada have some very nasty, freaky skeletons in their closet. Nasty, freaky. And I'm more inclined to believe that the more salacious ones involving Will have to do with men. I believe that Will Smith has had involvement sexually with both men and women, but it's not juicy for a woman to come out and say, I had an affair with Will Smith, because she's a woman. It's juicy, though, if a man does. And I believe that there are several men who could come out if they wanted to. Several dozen, maybe, who could come out if they wanted to. I think Jada has the same. I think they're very much equally yoked. Whether Will knows it or not, and he probably does, I think she is an outward expression of his shadow side. So Jada looks like the big bad wolf because we can see her. But I think Will is just as freaky deaky nasty. And I think the commonality between them is trauma, childhood trauma. So I don't get into judging people who they are or who they've become, because I can always see how it happened and how they developed into the people with the vices, the alleged vices that they may have. Both of them have shared childhood trauma. Various forms of childhood neglect. When children are neglected, they are left to kind of learn to, one, cope with the neglect on their own, and they don't have the tools to do that in a healthy way. And then they're kind of left to kind of fend for themselves in a world on their own. Will Smith became Will Smith very young. So besides his childhood trauma, he became really famous, and then he had to fend and be the breadwinner for whomever he loved and looked after. So, however they grew up and developed as adults because of the neglect that they experienced from one or both of their parents in their youth, I don't necessarily judge. I'm not in the position to do so. However, with that being said, given those circumstances, those types of children can grow up with all kinds of vices, especially when they are given money, power, and respect. It's the key to life, according to Little Kim. Problem also is that shit ain't saving nobody anymore. It's a different world. The challenge was that he was too powerful before, and now he's not. So that's why this young man is speaking out. I still haven't gotten around to whether this man is telling the truth. Now, if he is, I believe this man was, I don't believe he was raped. This tells me that there could have been a consensual situation if there was a situation at all. In my opinion, I believe it was consensual. But again, that's not fact. I wasn't there. And I believe he has tea. I believe it's true tea because he was there to see a lot of the Sodom and Gomorrah-ness in those Hollywood hills and mansions. So he has tea. It'd be difficult for someone to say that he's an outright liar because he probably has details in tea that can show he was in the midst. If he said he was raped, in my opinion, if I were Will Smith, I would just pay him off because I can't prove that I didn't do that. If he can prove that he's been in those intimate situations with me, even if I didn't, but he's been in intimate situations, then I can't prove that I didn't. It's literally, he has all this tea against me. I'm going to look guilty. I would pay him off. Just based on these two cards, Will Smith, if I was advising you, I'd say let me wait till I get to the outcome. But just based off these, I would say pay him off. In the past, Will Smith had his shares of whatever he wanted because his world revolved around him. And so whatever being Will Smith, whatever luxuries that afforded him, I believe he indulged in them. Again, Will Smith. Now, if I got this in reverse, because I'm pulling it up right, if I got this in reverse, I would say, Will Smith, you did something very violent with this man or something against his will. This upright, I don't believe Will Smith raped him, but I believe that young man was around for some of Will Smith's indulgences. And I think this young man may have something over Will Smith or something that can lend to his story. Crowning Will Smith is skeletons coming out of his closet. In his mind, he's probably thinking, who knows what could come out after this. And I'm imagining that he's considering paying him off, but he's also considering if he does this, then who else might come out of the closet that also might have been around for the indulgences. So they have tea too that can also say, pay me too. Again, if this was upright, I'd say he was did something against this person's consent. And if this was in reverse, I'd say the same thing. But no, I don't think so. Pay me. The concern currently, and I get it, so I'll wait till I get to the outcome so I get it. If you pay him, then the other ones who are true bones that make up the skeletons in his closet, they could come out with the same stories and the same tea and receipts. This is currently the young man, the young gay male who's coming out. He has tea, he has receipts. And I believe Will Smith knows he does. External energy, this young man sees this as the perfect time and opportunity. It's a new day, a new dawn. He can come out and say a little bit of anything he wants, truth or not. But he knows, saying that he was young, if that's what he said when he did things with Will Smith, he knows that that'll really get him the bag. I don't know if he's ever signed an NDA, but he should have. Will, did you let this young man, how did you let this one slip? I do believe, though, that while he was young, he might have been outside. So I'm not saying that it's okay to deal with minors, but I'm saying that there are some minors who are in the life. They're in the life. They don't consider themselves minors, they consider themselves a product. You've got young prostitutes, and not all of them have been trafficked by somebody else. Some of them are outside on their own. He smells kind of like that, in my opinion, according to my nose. Fast and flip, that's what he gives me, that young man, fast and flip. Will Smith, you may not be the only one he has tea on, probably the biggest one, the biggest fish. Hopes and fears. Will Smith, you're concerned about what else may come out if you pay this guy off. Oh well. Well, this may not be the last person who says something about you, but this will damage you. This will make you look guilty of something. And if not anything else, it'll make you guilty of having relationships with men. On the bottom, I see that people, the general public, they don't sympathize with this man, and nobody's really going to be shocked to hear that Will Smith might be gay. In fact, a lot of people still have a soft spot and sympathize with Will Smith and will continue to do so. Will Smith looks like a victim to a lot of people, especially a lot of adults, older adults, who were around when the hype of a lot of rumors surrounding his early days in the industry and who may have allegedly taken advantage of him. And so you will have people who look at him from that light and see him possibly doing something that was done to him. And in that regard, people will see him as a victim, a guilty victim. I hear you, Bobby. He'll look like a guilty victim as the outcome, but not one that the general public or the black public will carry pitchforks for. Will Smith, I believe you're going to pay him off, and it'll be hefty. Because I think he was around for things, and he has receipts. He might have kept receipts. This young man kept tea and receipts. He was not just around naive and foolish. He was smart enough to keep some receipts for a rainy day. And the rainy day has come. So I see Will Smith paying him off. And I don't think that Will Smith can afford this payment. He hasn't had a lot of gigs recently, not a lot of successful ones. And he's been a little bit blackballed. So this payment isn't going to be financially good for you. All right, that's that Will Smith. But I don't think he abused this young man. I don't think Will is abusive. If there were any accusations between Will and his wife, I would see Jada. She gives me whips, chains. She might, get turned on by a little bit of blood, a little bit of pain, a lot of bit of pain and pleasure. Not Will, though. She's definitely I told y'all the last time I read them, I said, Jada, I was trying to read Brashear and Will. Jada came through with all her BDE. I almost had to, I felt a little, I don't know. Her energy gave me, she'll run up on me, throw me down on the bed, throw my legs to the ceiling, and take a fork and a knife and just bite me to pieces. I'm scared of her a little bit. my lady parts are scared of her. She gives me old school bull dagger. They had an energy about them. They used to like to turn out straight girls. And to me, that gives a little bit of grapey. She gives me that old school bull dagger, 80s, 90s bull dagger. She give me that. They ain't want the other gay girls. They wanted them for practice. They had their eyes on your straight ass. The tapes the Bilal and Tasha K talk about are gnarly. Ambition say yes, old school butch. That's probably why Tupac didn't want to settle down with her. He probably was like, this is too much. And he literally said, we're both fire, meaning we're both masculine. And she's too much of a masculine energy for me. Jada, Tupac didn't want the strap. Tupac said, yeah, this was fun, but she had Pac clutching his chain, clutching his death row pearls. Like, how you make Pac? Pac said, she's fire, I'm fire, and we would combust. He said it in such a poetic way that nobody really got what he was really saying, but I did. I got it. She's too masculine for me. And I'm a man, and she a man. I'm a thug, she a thug. I wear Timbs, she wear Timbs. I got a penis, she got a strap. That's too much. He said it was too much. He said they were too much fire and they would combust. Meaning too much masculinity. She wasn't feminine enough. Oh, it's okay, JD. Your name actually is not just Jada. There's a little something else going on before you get to the little Jada, but I won't put your name out there like that. It's wild because she couldn't conquer him. She couldn't dominate him. That's the one that got away. You see the way she emasculated Will? She's an alpha. She's a conqueror. She's a huntress. She's a succubus. She couldn't do that with Pac. He cut her off in the peak of their chemistry. So for her, that's like an unfinished mission. She'll never be able to get over it because she didn't get to conquer him. Yes, that's why. That's why she's obsessed. But Will, he was easy peasy. Oh, she scares me. She makes me shudder. Thank you. I'm gonna start calling you Tawi because I don't know how to. Tawio Gideon. Okay, I like you too. Y'all, Jada she don't make y'all shudder. I was molested as a child by a woman. So that's why she scares me a little bit. It's a little bit of PTSD. Hey, Devontae, how you and your mama doing? I love when somebody's mama was a busted baby and then introduced their kids to me and then their kids become busted babies. We got generational legacy busted babies over here. Good. I'm glad to see y'all doing good, sugar. I feel like I'm y'all auntie or something. I feel like I'm a part of the family. Cousin. Done popped in here for the New Year's. Just like a cousin. Oh, I am. Thank you, Cousin T. I'm your Cousin T. Ooh, I just thought about Jada again and got a shudder. What? Who's next? Didn't we say Stefan Diggs? Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Gee whiz. All right. Stefan Diggs. I feel safer in his energy than hers. Let's go to someone safer. Stefan Diggs. Y'all don't ask me about that lady no more. Y'all didn't even ask me about her. Anytime I talk about Will, why do I have to talk about her? And I never even notice when she creeps up, but it just spills out. She just unhand Will. Y'all, free will. That's what we need to do. A free will movement. Okay. Stefan. Somebody safer. Whew. Whew. Stefan saved me from Jada. Help. I heard Stefan was a healer. Stefan healed me from Jada. Heal me from Jada, Stefan. Help. Who grandma freaky? Who got a freaky nana besides me? My grandma was freaky. Before I get to Stefan, because I have to DJ to myself, let me tell y'all how freaky my grandma was. And this explains me and all the other women in my family. Let me start by saying that when my grandmother passed away, she had an active dildo. She passed away at 74. And I remember when my mama was cleaning out her closet and she pulled out the dildo that my aunt got for her daughter, got for her, my Aunt Val. And I remember my mother saying that she could tell that my grandma had used it recently. Not like it was nasty or anything, but you, as a woman, you could tell, when it's been, anyway, she could tell it wasn't dusted and molded and stuff. But I had a freaky grandma. My grandfather was 12 years older than my grandmother, and I remember being a teenager and coming into a group a group session that my grandma and her daughters was having in my grandma room. My mama and all my aunties, they used to always be back there spilling tea, gossiping, and I'd be back there in the midst with my old soul. And I walked back there and she was in the middle of explaining why it was important that they date and marry younger men. I mean, I walked in to her saying, because your daddy, 12 years older than me, and he gave out a long time ago. I walked in like, gave up on what? So I sat down and she said he gave up a long time ago. And she said, and you still be going. You still be going as a woman. We still be going. So don't do what I did. I love you, and he got that thing on him, but he can't use it no more. And I'm still in a usable stage in my life, but he ain't. So she was telling them, and all of them, that younger men, except for one of my grandmother's daughter. No, Ernest is younger than her. All of them, including my mama. The only man that was my mama age or older was my daddy, and after that, none of them blood clot ting them was their age or older. And her granddaughters, my cousins and stuff, they all like them young and tender too. My cousin just turned 40, and her favorite is a YN. That's her favorite snack. And she's so 40 with it. She don't want you over there too long. She just want that YN energy. And then after 24 to 48 hours, go home. She'll tell them quick. I just want that YN energy, but then go home. Don't be bringing stuff over to my house. I remember she called me one day and was like, so what do you think it means when he brought all his stuff over here. I said, girl, that young nigga done, he done moved in. What the fuck do you mean? What does it mean? I was like, it means his baby mama put him out and he done packed up and came to your shit. What the fuck you asking me for? She was like, then we have a problem. She was like, yeah, that's what you think that's what he doing? I said, girl, didn't you just say his stuff is there? And he got a baby mama. That mean they done got into it. He can't go over there. So, and I told her that's what you get for messing with these little young boy MBAs and what and Kodaks, and cause she love them just like that. She love them just like that. Tight skinny jeans that sag and a stick and a shiesty mask. That's how she like them. I'm like, girl, you is 40 if you don't leave these thugs alone. Anyways, they got it bad for my grandma because she told them and she schooled them all and they all got it bad. Now I don't. I can't. I used to like them real older than me. Silver fox me down because I just can't. But I don't know. Anyways, so that was a fun fact. I forgot how I got on that. Oh, Stefan. I was getting into Stefan and somebody said something about somebody got a freaky grandma and it made me think of Erdine because she was freaky. She was. To the day she expired. Anyways. It is a trap, JD. They will bring a bag of clothes, and then they won't even bring it in first. They'll leave it in a car, and then after y'all done laid up and whoop de whoop with each other, and you all freshly plucked and laying there basking in the ambiance. And as a girl, you might even be a little soft. Then he run out to the car and get his bag, and what he say is, "Can I take a shower?" And you be like, "Yeah, you can take a shower," but he didn't just bring changing clothes in that bag. He brought the Xbox and some more clothes for a couple days, and the toothbrush and the toothpaste and the mouthwash and all the other shit, and the clippers for the hair. That's how they get you. They leave the bag in the car, and then after I ain't never been in that situation, but I'm telling you, y'all got to keep your head on the swivel. Cause my cousins like them young men, and I've seen all the plays. I've seen all the plays get played, and I've seen the players get played. Talking about what you think he mean, bitch. Did you just not say his stuff is there, girl? That is not a spend in the night bag. That's I ain't got nowhere else to go. So stop fucking with niggas who ain't got no place to invite you to. Because a real man gonna want to go home to his own place and sleep in his own bed. I feel you, JD, because listen, if we ain't like that, then please leave. Yeah, it's okay. All right, so what you finna do today? What those lips do? Talk shit. That's about it. Eat and talk shit. All right, Stefan Diggs. Now I feel safe because I got that Jada energy away from me. I had to switch gears because she a strong one to get off. All right. Most High Mother and Father God, please allow me to conjure up the spirit, soul, and collective energy of Stefan Diggs. What's his middle name? Is it Stefan Devante? No, Devontae was just in the chat. That's why. Oh no, I called y'all. The members know I named the second president John Adams, John Devontae Adams, not to be confused with his son, the sixth president, John Quincy Jones Adams. That's how. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll throw a middle name on somebody quick, and lately the Devontae name it's just been feeling right. But members, y'all remember I named John Adams, President John Adams, John Devontae Adams. What's Stephon middle name? It's not Devontae, is it? No, his brother's name is Trayvon. So that's why what is his middle name? Somebody look it up and tell me. I don't feel like it's not important, but all right. Stephon Diggs. Most High Mother and Father God, please allow me to conjure up the spirit, soul, and collective energy of the football player Stephon Diggs. Marshawn. Okay. Stephon Marshawn. His mama felt really strongly about the Ons. The Ons. Stephon Marshawn Diggs. Okay. All right. Stephon Marshawn. I don't know why I want to say it like that. Stephon Marshawn Diggs. Because it rhymes, maybe. All right, Stephon. Please allow me to conjure the spirit, soul, and collective energy of Stephon Marshawn Diggs. Stephon. Oh dear. This man is in a pickle. You guys know the last time you guys asked me to read him, I said, listen, don't quote me because this isn't a fact. I'm not in this man's group chat, but because I'm a medium, I can say this according to my opinion. I think that man blames this shit on his new famous baby mama. Not saying that she is physically, tangibly responsible, but I'm telling you, I think this man looks at this woman like the downfall. And again, I'm going to repeat something that I said the last time. And I have no reason to remember this other than the fact that this is this man's same energy. But now I remember saying, not saying that this man didn't have all these skeletons in his closet prior to his relationship with Cardi B, but it was a smooth operation over there. He ran a smooth sailing ship over there. He did not have all of this negative attention, and he did not have all of these women coming after him. The problem is, though, he brought somebody into the mix, and that person to those women asserted themselves over herself over them. And I feel like he allowed it, so they want to teach him a lesson. Now, that's on surface level. However, energetically, I will say also again that Cardi B was conjuring up a lot of drama and negative energy for her album, Am I the Drama? The crows, the dark imagery, that wasn't just for aesthetics and shits and giggles. So when I say conjuring up dark energy, it was conjuring up dark energy because that's what was needed to propel that album. Her bars alone and her lyrical talent wasn't going to be enough to get high numbers for that album. So the drama surrounding it was needed. And when you conjure up that kind of energy, you just have it on you. You have it on you. And the person who's going to be the main receptor of it the main receptor of it, even more so than the person that you're aiming it at, is the person or the people that you're sleeping with. Because they're going inside of your body physically. And if he then takes that energy from her and then sleeps with all of those other women, then everybody has got a bunch of drama. I'm just a woo lady, though. I do that shit for a living. I think he's energetically aware of that. If I have the flu and you're my significant other, you live with me, you sleep with me, and we're boinking regularly while I'm sick, there's a high chance that you're going to get the flu before I get the chance to pass it to my coworkers or the people that I encounter outside of the house. You're first in line for that flu shit because you're right up under me. See how that works? Just like that. And society treats sex like it's just shits and giggles. But it's the one thing that can create another life. So it's not just shits and giggles, not just pleasure, passion, and STDs. Because those are just physical manifestations, STDs, or physical byproducts of the energetic exchange that's going on. Just like babies are byproducts of the physical and energetic exchange between the two people, STDs are physical manifestations of the nasty energy that's being exchanged. Yes, Susan, I agree. All right, Stefan, let's talk. Stefan, you've been charged with, what has he been charged with? Give me a second. Oh, Stefan Diggs faces felony strangulation, suffocation, and misdemeanor assault charges. God damn. Thank you, Daryl, for that, but I'm not on Snapchat, my dear. Is that still a thing? I'm 38 years old. What am I gonna be doing on Snapchat with the kids? But thank you for the $4.99. You didn't have to pay me just to find out I don't have a Snapchat to give you. But thank you. I'm sorry. I wish I did, but you can subscribe to me here on the platform that we're already both on. Okay. That's interestingly generous, but I really do appreciate that. Strangulation and suffocation. What in the worldwide crash out is going on here? All right, Stefan Diggs, you have some pretty serious allegations pending against you. Oh, I did hear about the chef. Child. She pregnant by him? And she, okay, all right. All right, so the chef girl, Stefan Diggs. Talk to me about these allegations that your former chef placed against you. Did you do it? And what is the energy currently surrounding you with all this new publicity surrounding your personal life, these charges, these babies. It's a lot. But talk to me about how all of this is impacting you, how it came about, and what would be the outcome for you with these charges, because those are serious. Ideal meal. I feel like the NFL has a migraine. I feel like the NFL is losing their shit. And not just because of Stefan, but multiple of their partners and affiliates have been going through it. It started with Jay-Z and Rock Nation, and it's been crazy since then. And then we just all, I didn't because I read into it, but we just all swept that leak of Jamie Foxx with that NFL owner, and the man was talking about the dick, the digs. And then everybody was trying to make an excuse and saying, no, he was talking about the 40-yard digs or whatever it's called. And listen, I am a woman. I know when someone says dick. Okay. You want to know how I know? Because my feminine biology response, not even talk about my lady parts, but there's like sensors. When we hear the word, we, who, what, who said that, where? So I know when someone's talking about a phallus. And that man said phallus. He was talking about phallus. And as an NFL leader, he's surrounded by them. He owns them. He can just walk into the locker room and, oh my God, just look at all the phallus just slobbing and carrying on. Just watch them sweating and tackling each other. And, ooh, I bet them old gay white men just sit in them stands and salivate all over themselves, salivate and wet their depends. Oh, Diggs and his digs. Diggs and his digs. The tangle web we weave when we have money, power, and digs. You men and your digs and your power and money, boy, y'all get a little piece of change. And y'all digs just like water hoses that has too much water coming out of it, and they just start water hosing all over the place. That's what y'all digs start doing. Just reckless with your digs. How could y'all be so reckless with your digs? Just, my God, wrap that hose up. Wrap the hoses up. Ay, Dios mío. All right, Stefan, what's going on? Let's talk about this situation. The people say he's so attractive. I think he's cute, like in a cute little way, like in a little boy way. He don't look like a man to me. He don't give off at the kind of woman that I am. He don't give off, because I have very much strong energy. I don't like to say alpha, because when a man steps, I let him step, honey. So I don't need to dominate a man, but I can come off very much strong to a weakling, to a mortal. So when I look at Stefan, I see he has a baby face to me. He has a baby face. He's a little boy. He's cute. Yeah, like a little squirrel, Natalie. Thank you. He's cute like that. Like he's cute. But and I don't care how much money he has. I've been around many men with money. So if I saw him even with his slave chains and stuff on, I'm just kidding. They're not. Well, when you get your money from the NFL, then it's slave chains. I don't mind people being flashy with jewelry, but when it's NFL money, it gives me slave chains. But anyways, I get, oh, look at the little boy playing dress up. Oh, take your daddy chains off. That's what he gives me. So he's cute like that. Like, girl, that's my nephew. Yeah, he's cute. Like, that's my nephew, y'all. I know the little hoes be on my little nephew because he's so handsome. Child, my nephew, he got so much money. He got so many baby mamas, child, because he's so handsome. He's cute like that, but he got money, so all the little hoes be on him, child. But they don't know he don't bathe all the time, and he cry, and he still, he be crying when his mama don't call him. And girl, this girl's my little cousin. Like he's still wet to bed in my mind. He gives me like, okay, you cute. I got a cousin for you. You a cute girl. Okay, I'm gonna put you on to my little cousin. But not a man that I would fight over. He's a man that I would put on to one of my little cousins. Like if he approached me, that's cute. I got a little cousin for you. She's 20. She's 20. Y'all will probably have a lot more in common. Yes, that pink cocaine. Dan said, take her with you. Talking about Cardi. All right, Stefan. What you got going on? And how will this situation turn out with you? Because strangulations and suffocation, that's horrible now. That is horrible. I would never want to drown or be suffocated. So this creeps me out. Now, why the high priestess? First and foremost, the NFL is trying to support him. But this allegation is making it difficult to do so. They say they're supporting him, but I wonder if they said that before this allegation hit, and now they like, hold on now. I wonder if his baby mama is giving him some court case woo, because she's really good at that court case woo. I see woo here, Juju. I also see, in my opinion, a liar. And I don't think that the liar is Stefan. I see some entitlement here. I see some attempting to use the law to put someone and their boss and their bosses in a pickle. Let me tell you guys something that I've said before. The industry has industry approved women, which is why they all tend to sleep with the same women. They all date the same carbon copy model of the same woman. They all look the same, the BBL, the surgery, the hair, the makeup, the Fashion Nova dress code, all of that stuff. They all date the same girls. And for the most part, in my opinion, based on my time reading many celebrities, these girls are industry approved. They may have little petty squabbles with each other, but they also recognize each other. So despite the petty squabbles, game recognizes game. These girls understand who they are and the positions that they're meant to play, which is why you can see Stefan have a harem of baby mamas, and it doesn't seem like there's a big issue amongst them, as if he was in serious relationships with all of them, but cheating on all of them, and then they all find out and were devastated. It seems like a harem. So all of these girls understand each other, but I also think that the industries that these men are in, labels, sports leagues and things like that, they're also in on it. They also have incentives for the girls and things like that, because it's easier to control and insulate their players by giving them the things that they need, providing them whatever they need, including women. So if one was to ask, it's known that industries provide their artists with women, drugs, and certain things like that per their vices. Where do you think an industry would get women from? Who do you think these women are? They're not just approaching regular women off the streets and inviting them to their industry Hollywood top secret parties. No, most of the girls that you guys consider influencers online, they're only influencers for cover, or they become influencers so that they can become industry approved girls. It's advertising, so to speak. But there's also a code with these women. Sometimes the women work with the league to take men down, and sometimes these women, because they know the beast that they're in, strategize on their own so that they can put everybody in a pickle. And that's what I think this woman did. I don't believe that he did these things to this girl, but I believe she was very strategic. She's an industry approved girl. And I think that she became emotionally invested and invested. If she's pregnant, I think she may have. I don't think that it was like, let's lay down and make a baby. It could have been some other means of getting that baby inside of her body. Even if they had sex, utilizing the condom or however these girls are taking sperm from men after sex, I believe that that happens. I believe that if she's pregnant, I believe that happened here. I don't know if she is, but if she is, based on, I believe, the setup of this situation in her position, if she's pregnant, she acquired that sperm, in my opinion. Now, I'm not saying that he's a victim, but I don't believe she is of what she's accusing him of. If he's a victim of anything, it's his own choices and the lifestyle that he lives that seems to be very reckless. Ace of Pentacles. He was her income. She was his chef, and she also mentioned, I'm out of your life. You were supposed to fund my business. So she was around for the perks. It seems like, yeah, she was on his payroll on paper as a chef, and maybe she did a little Chef Boyardee here and there, but her job was to be a part of the harem, it seems, and to be available to him whenever he wanted her to. And I think Cardi B being brought into the mix really upset the beehive, really disturbed the wasp nest. Some of the girls don't mind, they'll fall into place. Some of the other ones want to fight for their dominance and not let Cardi B come in and think she can run the show. This girl seems to be the most cunning one. She seemed to play the background, allow the harem to go on and play her position because she had a long term goal. But it seemed like once she sees herself being phased out, and I think that became apparent when he told her to leave for a week, she sees herself being phased out. Now is her time to strike. But I also think that when Cardi B got pregnant, this girl was already looking at the writing on the wall and starting to formulate a plan in case she got phased out. I don't trust these hoes. I don't think all of them. I don't think all of them live. I don't think all of them. Now, I also will not say that Stefan has not been violent in the past. I think he done smacked the bitch before. I think he has. In his house, in his harem, I think he ran the show. And when the girls got out of line, and sometimes girls can, I think he might have bit, shut your ass up. Just like the text messages was like, you know, show me I'm pussy. I think he might have, I think he might have resorted to smacking somebody around before. I think she might have been one of them. I do think there's a jealousy and envy problem amongst his harem. Once Cardi B came in, I think there's jealousy and envy amongst the harem. Their babies falling out of the sky and demands for money. Honestly, I think he's guilty of a lot of things, but I don't. I cannot empathize with this girl as an outright victim. So I want to say that I do think that he's been violent, but for some reason I can't empathize with her as an outright victim. I'll say that. I think it's jealousy in the harem, and it's going to continue causing him tangible problems, financial problems, material problems. He has typically been able to avert and avoid disasters because he's had issues, but we haven't always known about what's been going on in his empire. We know now, though. Babies and money is what I see here. He's probably always had tower moments to juggle and avert due to his reckless lifestyle that's led to a lot of babies, which is always going to lead to a lot of money problems because babies equal money and bitches equal money. And a lot of babies and bitches equals a lot of money and problems and money problems. He's doing the best he can to, I guess, do whatever his legal team told him to do to divert questions and attentions away from these allegations. But I think he's being swallowed by these conversations about him. He's doing the best he can, though, by kind of not engaging in questions and conversations about it. Because that's the only thing he can do right now. Messages. I believe the messages that came out were not in full, I won't say in full context, but they were picked through to fit, what the person was accusing. But I think if we had a seen all of them regarding that matter that they conversed about, some people might not look at her like a complete victim. Who's to say one of the messages previous didn't say, that's why I, pulled a gun on you, or that's why I'm finna have somebody to come to your house and shoot it up. And that could be why that's why he said, well, tell them to come something, something. He said, tell them to come get it then. Show me I'm put. So who's to say we didn't see a threat before those messages seeming to confirm her version? Because I think there's some context that's missing that would round out her story a lot more. Trayvon's hopes and fears obviously is that he's going to be found guilty of doing what he's accused of. The moon in reverse. Trayvon, you're in a pickle. You got 99 problems and a bitch is all 99. You got baby mama drama. You got disgruntled girl drama. You got baby mama drama. You've got tea that's gonna come out about you, more to be revealed. As it relates to this situation, now I'll clarify if it's in your favor or not. But you got whole problems. JT Money said whole problems ain't no problem, but for you, big problem, big vex. And yes, the problem is because all the hoes mad. You ain't got enough money to go around for all of these babies' mamas, all of these disgruntled ex-girlfriends slash chefs. You, the outcome, the moon in reverse. Oh dear. He may have another baby on the way. The girl who accused him lives. She's a chef. She was his chef. In my mind, she warmed up his noodles. He may have another baby on the way. He's got a no. He may have fathered somebody else's baby. But this might have caught him off guard because he's like, wait, I did not skeet in her. There are ways to make, if there's another baby coming, there's ways to make that baby come. And he didn't ejaculate with his penis inside of a woman for that baby. However she got it, she got it. It could also, let me see, because this might be paternity. It isn't his. Let me see with that Two of Wands. But it's an attempt. So I'll say that this girl who's alleging that the baby is his, she hopes that it's his. But it may not be his. There's something weird going on here about the person who's saying that they're pregnant from him. It may not be his, but they will be saying that it's his. So we'll see. Let me see. The problem is most of the other babies, he understands. He get how they got here. He was fucking reckless. This person who's saying that they have a baby from him, he's trying to figure out how the fuck, in my opinion. So the question is, how did they get his sperm? And it was at some time during some wild sex, group sex, wild sex, a sex party, sometime when the bodily fluids were being exchanged freely. There is a problem in the harem, problems in the kingdom. And the real issue is Cardi B coming in. But that's when it started for these girls. This is the lady that's suing. She was being phased out. He kind of cut her off because she said he didn't pay her for the week that she wasn't cooking for him. Bitch, why would you get paid for the week that you're not cooking for him? I don't understand that. Which gives me, we got a situation going on over here. You are my source of income. If you ask me to leave, that's letting me know that I'm being replaced. So now we got a problem. Again, the jealousy and the harem came when Cardi B became a baby mama. His biggest baby mama, meaning the most known. Because she came in wanting to be the baby mama. When it seems like there were other girls who, before Cardi B asserted herself, they held their own hierarchy over there. And these girls don't see Cardi B like that. They don't feature her. These are girls who don't see Cardi B the way she and her fans see Cardi B. So that's why they mad. It's not outright jealousy, it is, but it's because they don't see her as their equal. There are some of his baby mamas who don't see her as their equal, despite her celebrity. They don't see her as their equal. So they're like, bitch, who the fuck are you? And if you finna let her come over here and wreck shop, then no, I'm not playing nice no more. Cause fuck that bitch. We ran the show before she came on, and she not even what they say about how she looks in comparison to them. I think they feel like she not even on our level, despite her celebrity. So that's why they're mad. Because there was a hierarchy going on over there. And the girls who are at the top of the chain gang, they don't see Cardi B as above them. Oh, but the high priestess is what I want to look into. Then I'm going to go because I'm hungry. Members, we'll do our next president tomorrow. I was going to do a members live tonight, but I'm hungry. Doing these readings, they make me so hungry. All right, what is this high priestess here in Stefan Diggs' present position? Emotions, feelings, and the law being used due to feelings and emotions. Somebody's feelings got hurt, and I think that they brought the law into it. Somebody's out for blood. He hurt the wrong woman. This is a woman scorned. Because this is a Pisces card, very emotional. Can be very delusional too. Scorned. She felt like they had something special. You know what? Despite her being in his harem, she was in love with him. It ain't even about the money. It's about the fact that he asked her to leave. He must have made her feel special. She felt that they were more intimate than everybody else. Why though? This is that Pisces delusion. She's delusional a little bit, but because she was emotionally involved and invested too, she was in love. It's not sad to me, Liv, because I don't think that she was in a harem. She said in her own messages that she was there for the circus or something like that. So she knew it was a harem. Why she felt like they were boyfriend and girlfriend, like she was his bottom bitch and she was more valuable than all the other ones. It's like she was there for the harem, but for some reason in her mind, he loves me though. He loves me more than them. We have something special. They're just this, and this, but we're I'm special. I'm different. She might have felt like she was different from the other girls. Did she know him for a long time? Did they have a history? I think it's known that they knew each other for a while. It seems I feel like they have some kind of history. She might have known him for some time, but for whatever the reason, she thought she was special. Whatever promises he made her about giving her money for the business, he probably pillow talked her while he was sticking her down real good. She felt specialer. She's hurt. She saw an ending, possibly. Cardi B moved up the ranks. She's whatever they had. It doesn't matter with Cardi B in the picture now. Scorned. And this is worse than a woman scorned, which I would usually see as the Queen of Wands in reverse because it's a death card, meaning these accusations can take a person down for real, for real, for real, for real. These are serious. And this Like he went to jail, didn't he? Got locked up. Ain't no turning back from that. In this case, I kind of feel bad for Stefan Diggs. Even if he didn't, that's what these kind of charges can lead to. Let me see. He faces those charges, but he didn't get arrested. Yeah, serious, serious, serious charges over some feelings, in my opinion. Feelings. Feelings. Despite being around the harem. I almost said something, but I have to keep in mind that she's an alleged victim. But he couldn't be my client. Stefan Diggs couldn't be my client. Because when I tell you that woman couldn't be my client. He couldn't be one of my busted babies. And that couldn't be me reading his situation, because I'd be like, okay, yeah, you should have kept your hands to yourself. But I see that she's here for the shits. Yeah, she thought y'all was in a relationship. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have said, okay, in my opinion, this is how we need to handle this. Just because she's coming for blood. And despite what little fight y'all might have had, you hit her, she hit you, whatever. This, because I ain't gonna let my clients go down. Now I'm gonna tell you when you're wrong, and I'm gonna say, all right, now I'm gonna get you out of this. But let me tell you something. Okay, we're gonna be realistic. But my clients come to me and they pay me a coin to get them out of a situation, and I definitely would be like, listen, you hurt this bitch. But I don't think that she needed to be in a position to be hurt. And I also believe that her allegations are trumped up. I think he might have bopped her upside the head a couple of times, and not saying that's right or any better. But I don't believe he tried to unalive her. And I don't believe we have all of the context of those text messages and the things that she may have said to him that could have been threats. And I think when a woman is emotional, sometimes she may not always think the best. She can also be very reactive. I think they're exaggerated. That's what I'm getting at. Exaggerated. I think they're exaggerated. And so I won't negate the fact that he might have beat bopped her. But I also have to say, get the fuck out. Because you're mad because he literally asked you to leave and you didn't get paid. Because he asked you not to be there. So had he not asked you not to be there, you would have been there. Getting bopped some more probably whenever y'all got into it. But long as you was getting those benefits, those digs and those checks, bitches be willing to put up with a whole lot like a harem for digs and checks. I think something is strange going on with the paternity of whatever alleged baby he may have. It could be, if he is, that sperm was stolen, in my opinion. And I think those allegations are exaggerated. But that's all my opinion. Okay. Oh, well, let's see. How does Cardi B feel about... Oh, well, just for shits and giggles, I'll see how Cardi B feels about her relationship and all this stuff going on with her baby deity. Most High Mother and Father God, please allow me to conjure up the spirit, soul, and collective energy of Cardi B. Belcalis Almanzar, I'm sorry. My mama got me some of these for Christmas because Reese's are some of my favorite candy, and I gotta bite something. I'm hungry. How do I get into it? Help. I'm sorry. I said I was going to go eat, but since I'm finna read her real quick, I just got to bite something so that I don't die in front of you guys. How do... Oh. I was going to say how the fuck do I get into it? I'm sorry, you guys, but doing readings, it used to take a lot of energy out of me. Now it doesn't take a lot of energy out of me because I be in the gym all the time. But man, if I don't do readings on a full stomach, I'm going to be starving an hour in. All right. Told y'all I'm a Taurus ascendant. I'm going to keep a snack somewhere in arm's reach. All right. My stomach's saying, girl, don't play with me. My stomach is saying, bitch, I know you ain't just popped that little piece of candy in here when we is sitting on your back. Okay. My stomach said, y'all see this bitch? 1, 2, 3. Release them. Talking about hunger pains. That's what my stomach said. Release the hunger. Release the hunger pains. Child. Okay. I've distracted my stomach with Reese's, but they won't be distracted long, so let me rush through this. All right, Spirit, please allow me to conjure up the spirit, soul, and collective energy of Cardi B, Belcalis Almanamazar. I used to say it with confidence because I thought I knew how to say it, but actually, let me get it right. Because then I read it somewhere, and it was some extra letters in there, an extra A somewhere in there, and it threw me off. Belcalis Almanzar. I did say it right. I was saying it right. Okay, Belcalis Almanzar. So that means somebody misspelled it and it threw me off. Belcalis Almanzar. Belcalis Almanzar. Yes. Her name is a spell in itself. If you say it over a candle, over a blue candle, you might win a court case. A blue or orange candle. Do orange for the dead Jupiter. If you want to work on the judge, do both actually. Say her name over a blue or orange court case candle. You're going to get off. Anyways. All right. Belcalis Almanzar, Cardi B spirit. She's easy to for me to read. I don't have to go too deep into the astral realm to pull her. Maybe because our birthdays are 3 days apart, but she wears her heart on her sleeve, even though she thinks she's tough. Not saying she thinks she's a thug and she's not. I'm saying she thinks she's tough. I think she thinks so. Maybe she knows that she's soft on the inside. But that's why she's easy to read. She really does wear her heart on her sleeve. She really is a lover girl. JD. Over your dead body. No, you can use one of my court case ceremonies. Mine work better than that, but y'all know I helped a whole apartment building in New York not get evicted in 30 days. Do y'all know that? Shout out to the busted baby who came to me with in that dilemma, because they watch, but they don't comment. Them people came home one day and saw a whole apartment building. Came home one day in Brooklyn And everybody had 30 days to get the fuck out. Not because they wasn't paying, but because I think the building was going to be used for something else. And they were trying to give people who had been paying their rent on time 30 days to suddenly find somewhere else to move, but get the money to do it. And they had to go to court over this matter. And I did a consultation for that girl. And I said, how 6 to 8 months? This is before I did the woo. I said, how 6 to 8 months? Is that enough time? She said 6 to 8 months would be a perfect amount of time for me to, save up some money and find somewhere to go. The first court date, I did the ceremony. They had the first court date, and they didn't have any results. I think the first court date, they scheduled another court date for 2 months later. And that after that 2 month court date, they gave them 6 months to vacate. So in total, from the time that she came to me and we did the ceremony, 8 months. Just like I motherfucking said. Because when I read the situation to first see if I was going to be able to help, then when I saw that I would, the outcome was the strength card, which is the number 8 card. So I said, y'all gonna have 8 months. You're gonna get that 8 months. And from the time of that consultation to the time the judge made the decree, 8 months. A whole apartment building. So I say that, oh yeah, and all I told her to do was give me the name of the judge and the name of the attorney and the parties who currently own, the person who's trying to evict y'all and kick y'all out. Give me all their names. So y'all ain't got to say her name over the candle. Y'all could just call me. All right, Cardi B, talk to me about listen, your life is full of drama, but you asked for this. You had no choice because your label allegedly was telling you to put up or shut up permanently. So you had to come up with an album, but you knew after several years, several singles, you knew what your numbers were going to look like if you just rolled it out off the strength of you. And you're a woo girl. You're a woo girl. You and your family practice the woo. And the industry that you're in practices the woo. I think desperate times call for desperate measures. And I think you conjured up some woo so dark. And I believe it was woo darker than anything you've ever done. It's the kind of woo that you do when you're desperate and you have to sell your soul. And I said this a few times before when I read you. I said you sold your soul because you had to start doing a type of playing a game that I think she morally held herself. I think she held herself to a certain standard and didn't play. I think she utilized a certain woo that was very native to her ancestors and her roots, maybe a Santeria or something like that. This, though, this was like witchcraft. This was dark and nasty. And I think desperate times call for desperate measures. I think she had to get a certain amount of numbers and place a certain position because after waiting so long, if she didn't show up with a certain amount of numbers, this would have ended her. So her sophomore album was Do or Die because she waited 7 years to drop another one, and her career was tied to Nicki Minaj's. So she had to place at a certain place. So they had to dig deep into their bags of magic tricks. And the result is Cardi B. Now you have to deal with the result of the woo and the web that you weaved. It's doing alchemy and spilling very, very, very potent and dangerous raw chemicals on your hands without the proper protective gear, probably because you're doing something that you're not properly trained or qualified to do yet, but you're trying to experiment on some shit and hope it works. But then you spill mercury and shit all over yourself. That's what that kind of woo, that kind of conjuration of that drama that propelled her to get close to 200,000. This is the outcome. Corrosive, yes. Cardi B, your life, it looks to be in shambles, but I'm not the judge. I'm not in your life, so I won't say that your life is in shambles, but your public life is taking a hit due to your own personal drama between you and your still husband and your current relationship with your mister. Is that what they call? I know what we call mistresses, but your mister. Talk to me about how life is treating you with these current accusations against your boyfriend, Stefan Diggs. How life is treating you since I am the drama. Spirit, please also allow me to see if any negative energy that she conjured up to benefit her is also negatively affecting her. Because that's a theory I have. Remember the crows and stuff on her rollout? The Page of Swords and the Queen of Swords come out for me often, depending on the context of what I'm reading it. But both of those cards have the crows around them. Those don't have to be evil spirits unless you're using them for evil spirits. They're spirits of the underworld, so to speak. Those show up for me because those spirits are a part of my spiritual courts. I walk with those spirits, the spirits of the dead and the underworld. So I understand when I see that Page of Swords, that is an amateur in a certain art. That's somebody who is an amateur in a certain spiritual art. One that involves underworld and the underworld spirits. That's not always the dead and the deceased, but underworld spirits. Those by nature, just based on their elemental nature, are dark. Some of them. The underworld spirits are dark in nature. The dead, they're the dead, so they're not necessarily dark in nature, but the dead and the underworld spirits, they can be dark in nature. You conjure them and you have to know how to work with them. Otherwise, they won't respect they'll show up with their nature. If you conjure them and say, hey, I want you to use your nasty dark nature against X, Y, and Z, they'll be like, okay. But if you don't know what you're doing when handling them, they won't have any respect of who. You too. You too. Yes, they're vultures, but I don't like to call them that because they're my buddies. Those are my buddies. Which is why I'm experienced with saying, if you don't know what you're doing with them, then you shouldn't use them. Want to know why? They're underworld spirits, Cardi B, but they are under the order of the Archangel Michael. Drops mic. He is a mighty, mighty, mighty warrior, the mightiest of the angelic archangel beings. He has a major army in the underworld. They have their own kings and lords that are underworld demons and things like that. But even the demons, their kings, answer to archangels. Absolutely. Absolutely. If you are a warrior archangel like Michael, You can't have a whole bunch of love and light bitches in your army. You got to have some hitters. So, yes. And that's a secret that nobody's going to tell you guys, because that's a secret that nobody told me. However, that's how that works. So working with the underworld spirits, if you are not, it's like you can work with the underworld spirits if you are clean. You can work with the underworld spirits to defend and protect yourself without getting any blowback on you. Because Archangel Michael is an archangel. He's a warrior, but his job is defend and to protect. So if that's what you're invoking them on for your defense and protection, then there is nothing for them to feed off of when you handle them. No toxicity or nastiness for them to sit, smell on your hands and say, well, what about you too? And so that's why you can work with them when you're righteous, because they're under the order of Archangel Michael. But when you are not employing them for defense and protection, there is a way you can do it to still keep yourself clean, but it's not even clean. You have to erect certain defenses around yourself if you are on the bullshit, if you're not a good person and you're using them against somebody else to attack someone for an unrighteous cause. If you don't erect strong protective measures around you, and maybe you can't because it's Archangel Michael, then yes, they're going to sense the ain't shit on you too. Everybody always says dark work, be careful hexing somebody because it's going to come back on you. It don't come back on everybody. It comes back on you because you ain't shit. And in that matter, you probably want to curse somebody for something that can be worked out in different ways with a little bit of accountability. So before you hex, check yourself. Even if you feel like somebody did something wrong to you, were y'all in a beef, a battle? Did this happen because of an offense that you caused them? Can an apology fix this? Can just going your separate ways and not dealing with this person if you don't have to resolve this? Is there another way? But if your hands are dirty, even just a little bit, you better let somebody know that's helping you curse that person that your hands might be dirty so that they can help create defenses around you so that your ass don't get ate up too. I listen, I don't judge, but if you come to me for something like that, you better tell me the whole truth so that I can protect you. Otherwise, when I unleash that shit, I unleash that shit. All right, so Cardi, talk to me about how your life has been since I Am the Drama and how the situation with Stefan Diggs is affecting you too. These are the allegations. I think Cardi B is going to want to help him on some court case stuff. He had the high priestess. She had this. Was she the one who called the girl? When I heard about the girl saying that one of his girlfriends called her, I actually didn't think it was Cardi B. But I think Cardi B might want to do some of her court woo for Stefan. But Cardi B, I would advise you to take a break from all woo. Don't even do any for Stefan. Don't even do any good woo. Only woo you need to do is cleanse and rest. Because resting and doing nothing is woo too. It's resting and resetting. Temperance. Now, the problem is I'm going to say this, Cardi B, you are the drama. Yep. Because you had no idea when you did this conjuration what all would come out of it. You must have been new to whatever type of energy that you harness for your rollout. It must have been new to you. And I know that you were in close proximity with the Knowles Carter camp. They do darker shit than I think you do. They do that industry craft. That's inherently dark on its own because it's full of greed and malice. Ain't no light in the industry magic. Ain't no light in it. But you had no idea what the fuck you were conjuring up. And not just spiritually, but making the connections with the people you did. That was a different league. You were out of your league with the energy that you harnessed for I Am the Drama. And I think you're just starting to see the culmination of what that energy brought to you. Started with a court case for you that seemed very much theatrical, but it spilled over. You and your baby daddy in court. You and your husband in court, your baby daddy in court, you was just in court. Cardi B, the common denominator is you. Not saying that these men are innocent because they do things, but that's how bad juju works. If it's something there for the bad juju to latch on to exploit, then that's what the fuck is going to happen. So yes, their closets weren't clean, but they were being maintained. Every man that you've been sexually involved with that we know of is in court. Your husband and your baby daddy. And what do the two of them have in common? Your vagina. This isn't even me being funny. This is me saying the woo that you do, it's in you. If they're in you too, then yes, they're going to dip their stick into your woo and it's going to come out. Not just with your vagina juices on it, but also your energy. You got to stop fucking. You need to stop fucking. You need to do a cleanse, and I'm talking about go on a year-long sabbatical. A year at least, but in my mind, 3. You need 3 years. 3 years to get this what you conjured up. You need 3 years of a sabbatical to get it off. You're not going to be able to get it all the way off still in the thick of the industry and in the hype of celebrity. You need to go away for a good 3 years, go to the DR, like I told Kai Cenat, and reconnect to your roots. I've been telling y'all, connect to your roots. That's the only thing that'll save you these days. You need 3 years of abstinence from the life that you live now and sexual abstinence to get that energy out of you. I also want you to keep a close eye on your last 2 children, the one you just had and the one with Blossom, most specifically Blossom. In my opinion, give her a little extra nurturing and do so until she's about 12 or 13. But you have to be careful about how you balance it out. It can't be favoritism, but you're going to need to invest a lot of your attention on her just because of where she came into the grand scheme of things. She came at the culmination of the ending, the culmination of your marriage with Offset, and it was very tumultuous. Then you immediately got pregnant with another man. Where did you have time to nurture Blossom? I only say that to make sure that there is no room for any perceived neglect from Blossom, because children don't know healthy coping mechanisms. They don't understand their emotions and the things going on around them. All I know is how they feel and how they perceive them. So even if you don't feel like you're neglecting, it can be easy to do because of how she came into the world and what was going on. So make sure, I'm sorry, that you pour into her. I know Cardi B will never see this, but if she did, don't neglect that one, because even if you don't see it as it, you don't know how she's perceiving the world around her. And she came into it at a very tumultuous time for you. Past position is that harem card that we just have for the chef. Cardi B stepped into a harem. And if it's in the past position, this tells me that the harem existed when Cardi B stepped into Stefon Diggs' picture. It also tells me that she was aware that there were other women, because this would be Cardi B. She came in and said, all right, bitches, I'm here and I'm above all of you. And she also came in very loud and letting the world and everybody else know. Everybody knew that Stefon had other baby mamas and bitches when when Cardi B announced him as her boyfriend on Gayle King. So she announced it to the world that she was above all the other women who Stefon never said, after Cardi B and her machine pushed for their relationship, he had to go along with it. But those other women, Cardi B came in and said, hello, I'm here and I'm better than you guys. And they said, bitch, who? And so they started acting out. Absolutely. But she wrecked it because she came in, because she went public. Her and Stefon went public when she knew that she was a part of a harem. The other girls didn't like that public. It's not that she came in, it's that she went public. Oh, Cardi. She might not ever say this, but I think that it does not bode well on her that she's a wife and a baby mama at the same time. And not just a wife and a baby mama, but a wife that somebody is a that is about to be an ex-wife and a baby mama. I don't want to say a failed wife and a failed girlfriend, but I think somebody that values being chosen by a man would see themselves that way in her position. Going through a divorce and going through challenges with your mister, and y'all just went public and had a baby. JD, I'm trying to explain it in the best way that I can describe how she might feel, but I don't think that her success is as fulfilling. I think having a man on her arm that doesn't make her look crazy and being rich fulfills her. This isn't Cardi B, even though she's the air sign. This is the woman who just made the accusations against Stefon Diggs. In my opinion, Stefon could redirect that energy to that victim and say, bitch, I know you lying. It says that he made a statement and said he's not saying anything because he doesn't want to like be insensitive to something. What did he say? He doesn't want to be disrespectful amid legal charges. Stefon Diggs understands that if he tries to defend himself, then he might come across as insensitive to the victim. But in my opinion, what he really wants to say is, bitch, you tried it. So I think he's being advised by his legal team and probably by Cardi too, who has a lot of court and legal experience, on how to maneuver in the media, in the PR. Both of their teams could be doing some crisis management for Stefan. The baby mamas are fighting. Cardi B. This is drama. Fives are drama and conflict. Cardi B, you are the conflict. The only reason this isn't a sword is because you're not directly affected by any of his baby mama drama in a way that you can end up in the courts. But you're a part of the drama. You are the drama. Cardi B, these girls didn't see you. I mean, they don't see it for you. And I think that you wanted your baby to be like, I think you're the one who didn't want your baby to be around the harem and the gaggle of other children because you see yourself as the big fish, as the Cardi B. So I think that you may look down on his other women and their kids, even though, in my opinion, you walk right into his other women and their kids and then join them with a kid. Hopes and fears now, there is some legal drama that I think Cardi B is concerned about affecting her. If someone tries to say that she was the person who made those calls, if anything, it could be a civil suit. Cardi B, you got the devil in your outcome. Not good. Cardi B, were you the one who called that girl? There you go, conjuring that drama, and there are the blackbirds. Cardi B, did you call that girl? I don't know, but I said in Stefan's outcome, the moon in reverse. I said some more of his tea is going to be spilled. And Cardi B, you're going to be directly involved in it. Girl, you crazy as hell. This Sagittarius Offset case, this would not have been this is in your challenge position, but the outcome is the devil. So yes, Cardi B left the lesser of two devils and went for the big Hashatan. This is Offset in your challenge, but you could work this out with him. You can mediate that and you won't be taken down by Offset. You can pay him and then move on. That's just your challenge, though. Going to court with Offset is just your challenge. Your outcome is the devil. Let's start with the damn devil. Girl. Cardi B, if you wanted to come and get some work done from me, because apparently your woo ain't wooing, you know how much money I would charge you? I would charge you so much motherfucking money. I can't call it a reparation fee, but girl, I would charge you a headache fee, a blood pressure fee. I would charge you a vacation fee because I would need one after you. I would charge you so many fees, Cardi B's. I'm just saying. I know you would never, so this would never, but girl, cleaning this up, because you know what I would have to do? Force your ass to go on a 3-year sabbatical, and that would be the hard part, is getting you to sit down and shut up for 3 years and not hunch. Y'all hoes can't not hunch. Y'all hoes don't know what abstinence is. Y'all can't. Y'all don't have that much discipline. Because, girl, you had a baby while you was having a baby. So I know you ain't got no kind of vaginal discipline. The devil. Treat them straight. With no social media, like go off the grid for 3 years straight. in the DR with your roots, walking bare, the same um, prescription that I gave Kai Cenat, because you have to deprogram and reset, and nature does that for you the best and the safest way. Nature, your roots. Because 3 years is enough time to get the taste out of your mouth for the lifestyle that you live now. You have to detox and get the desire for the machine and the fast life and being in the midst of it all. You have to get that taste out of your mouth so that you don't want it anymore. It's literally going into rehab. But worse than drugs, money and power. So that's why I said 3 years. Who's not addicted? What celebrity isn't addicted? Have you heard that song by Beyonce and Jay-Z, Hollywood, Live Saturn? Oh, it's the lights. I ain't singing nothing else in its entirety because they gonna monetize it. Satisfaction, Hollywood. Listen to it. The devil. Yes, read the lyrics. I actually love that song. But yeah, read the lyrics. They're talking about getting caught up in the lights of Hollywood and wanting it and desiring it. Hell, to me, that was them saying, yes, I'm Hollywood. I want this shit. We're so famous now to the point where I want it. I couldn't see myself any other way than on top. I've been on top for so long. But then that also comes with the realization of once you're at the top, you also look back down on your journey up and you look at everybody else on that same journey. And yes, you do reflect on the desperation. So that song to me was them saying they've made peace with their journey and climb to the top, but they were also being honest about it. They kind of touched on the 27 Club in that song. So they were acknowledging how people crash out and lose themselves in the pursuit of fame in Hollywood. Ironically, they are the example of the top of that, and they made the song. So yes, that's why. And they said it's addicting in that song. So yes, when you said she's addicted, that's why I thought of that song, The Devil. But I didn't want to single her out. I wanted to say that all of them are addicted to it, which is why they don't walk away, which is why they get humiliated and they pull stunts just to, cover it. PR is magic. Marketing, PR, advertising, the media, it's all a form of magic because it's some form of manipulation over the masses and their perception of what they see of a situation. So PR is just manipulating someone's perception of a situation, which at its core is what magic is, a manipulation of energies and other people's perceptions. If I do a money spell for myself, today somebody may perceive me as poor. If I do a successful money spell for myself and then I become rich, I've manipulated my own life, but that also was a manipulation of somebody else's perception. If I am going through a very hard time in my personal life, but I'm a celebrity and I don't want you to know that. If you guys start getting a glimpse of me going through it in my personal life, then me and my PR team are going to come together and strategize a campaign, a strategy in order to clean up the stench of you guys finding out that I'm going through something. Now it's not lying, but it's creating an illusion. It's now you see it, now you don't. a magic trick. So, in that sense, all of the celebrities want it, and the ones that don't walk away from it. Because when celebrity life starts to get bad and it starts to suck the energy out of them, which it requires, they go through it. They go through the humiliation, the tabloids being exposed, and then they let it die down. They run a PR campaign or wait for the next news cycle, and then they push through because they don't want to give it up. They don't want to give it up. They just want to ride the wave until you guys get over it. Yes, not all though. The devil. Expose, expose, expose. Stuff is going to come out that should have otherwise been locked down. Again, Stefon Diggs did a good job prior to his relationship with Cardi B of, for the most part, keeping his shit under wraps. And reading him and Cardi B lets me know that he had shit going on. It's been messy over there. But before he had a, a media darling for a girlfriend, he was just an NFL players, and they don't necessarily make the tabloids and the blogs for their personal business. That's for the musicians and the entertainers. So he can be a little bit obscure with his mess. Not anymore. And this devil is more so for Stefon. This devil is more of Cardi B, meaning because of Cardi B and Stefon's relationship, now they're in a bind, but only because of them binding themselves to each other. So the people who do not see it for them are the ones that are letting all the shit that he used to keep under wraps out, because they don't appreciate her coming in and him allowing her to platform their relationship. That's the thing with the media, the industry approved girls. They're industry approved because sometimes the industry uses them to keep the players in line. And so they know the tricks on how to keep somebody in line or to bring someone down when they step out of line. And as far as I'm concerned, with Stefon's harem, they had a thing going. Again, a hierarchy. Cardi B stepped on some of those girls and they have their own power. It may not be in the media or with the masses, but these are industry girls. So they know how to handle celebrities. They know how to handle celebrities. So, Cardi B, you're a celebrity. These girls are not. They are baby handlers. The industry approved girls are baby handlers. Because again, if the industry wants to take somebody down, a celebrity down, most of the time they'll send in a girl, one of the girls, and have them do it. So these girls know how to handle celebrities. They know how to protect their image by staying quiet. And then they know how to bring them down a notch when they need to. Cardi B, you stepped on a hornet's nest. You stepped in a hornet's nest, honey. And because you seem to not want your children to be around the other children, you've insulted these girls too, even if you didn't have to outright do it. And I'm sure you girls throw shots at each other. But just by staying away over the holidays when they at least know how to come together, and you want to assert yourself as the head harlot over there in the harem. Now these girls are exposing Stefon because of you. They were there all this time, not saying a word. But then you got chained to Stefon, and then the devil steps out. All hell breaks loose. that chef, if she's the one who says she's pregnant and she also said he abused her, when she saw the writing on the wall, when Cardi B stepped into the picture and she started to see the harem starting to change forms, she came up with a plan, honey. She wasn't going to lose her meal ticket forever. So if the charges won't work, a baby might. Welcome to death row, Cardi B. Welcome to fucking death row. And you know what? I heard you say something about why does the ghetto always find you? You know, I didn't grow up in the suburbs. I didn't grow up in the projects. I grew up in the country. But being in the hood and shit like that, that's not new to me because my daddy did time in the feds and my family was the town's mafia, so to speak. So I don't find myself in hoods or around hood shit, even though I can relate to hood shit. Face good everywhere. But if I don't intend to go to the hood and then, fellowship with the project people, because that's what I'm intending to do, like I do sometimes, because it grounds you, it humbles you, it's good for the spirit, then I never find myself in ghetto shit, ever. Not in my personal life, not with my friends. I'm never in messy shit. I'm never in a bunch of fallouts, never he say, she say. None of that. None of that tingdom. It's a store called Genetics, The King, 1980. Yeah. It's exclusive membership though, meaning your ugly ass can't get in. Anyways, I just don't. I don't have that problem. And you want to know why? Because if it ain't in you, then you ain't in it. There's my proverb for the day. If it ain't you, then you ain't in it. If you ain't messy, then you ain't gonna be in mess. If you ain't ghetto, then you don't usually find yourself in ghetto shit. That's Nigalations 3:16. Denalations, nigalations, it's the same. It's all the same here. I wrote it. I wrote that. I wrote the nigalations. So there you go. If it ain't in you, then you ain't in it. Message. This was fun, you guys. This was entertaining. Now the hunger pains are coming back with a vengeance. I must go and tend to my organs. Love you guys. See y'all tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow. All right. Bye.